Is the State Department concerned about reports that Russia is sending fighter jets to Syria to strike ISIS, or do you welcome this development? And if so, how would you coordinate with the Russians?
So I spoke to this a little bit yesterday. We're frankly still chasing the ground truth on that. We've seen those reports. I think I said yesterday that, in response to questions we got last week about, frankly, in response to some Russian officials saying, we need to take the fight to ISIL. We're already doing that. There's a 37-some-odd country coalition that's taking the fight to ISIL. We would welcome Russia to be more involved in that effort.
Well, the administration will confirm it, but multiple stories now that Russia is stepping up its military presence in Syria to back up Bashar al-Assad. The Daily Beast, for example, has a story. It says if Moscow weren't satisfied with the game in Ukraine, the last month has seen a flurry of reports about its ever-expanding military involvement in Syria. Several sources consulted for this story said the Pentagon is being unusually cagey about Russia's reinvigorated role in Syria. Former U.S. military officer told the Daily Beast, quote, "I'm being told things like, we really can't talk about this. That indicates to me that there's some truth to these allegations." Meantime, the U.S. is stepping up some of its activity with unmanned drones that are armed. We're back with the panel. Charles.
I think it's a very generous interpretation of Russian motives to pretend that they are joining the fight against ISIS. The Russians have a single interest in Syria, and that is the preservation of the regime of Assad, who's been an ally of Russia for 30 years, and also an ally of Iran, which is essentially using it as a proxy state. They are not interested in ISIS. In fact, the Assad regime has essentially laid off ISIS for almost the entire civil war. It's conceded the northeastern sector of the country, and its fight has been against the non-jihadist elements in the opposition and some other elements as well. So this is not an anti-ISIS operation. This is a save-your-client operation. And the reason they have the freedom of action is because they understand there'll be no resistance or opposition from the Obama administration.